Hello and welcome to my review of the Warhammer 40,000 Daemonifuge, Ephrael, Stern and Kyganil models from Games Workshop. Now this box set of two will set you back £30. It's to coincide with the 20th anniversary edition of the Daemonifuge graphic novel. They've made miniatures of these two characters. Really enjoying the graphic novel at the moment. If you have any interest in a Sister of Battle Psyker, then it's definitely worth watching my unboxing and first look and picking up. So from the unboxing, I immediately noted that this pack of two detailed characters is worth the £30, and I'm pleased to say that has held true with building them and looking at their rules a bit more in depth. As I said in that first look, you can view these two models as £15 each, or if you're going to look at Ephrael Stern as being £20, then Kyganil as being only 10. And if they were to sell these separately, I'm pretty sure that they'd be selling them for £17.50 each. So it's nice that they come in a pack of two. What we'll do is we'll look at the models close up, uncover their detail, then we'll go through some size comparisons because there are no spare parts because they're characters, and then we'll dive deeply into their rules, which can either be found in this box set that they come with or book 9 of the Psychic Awakening series, Pariah. They've got their own separate kind of 2 pages, much like Illuminor Seras has. So let's start off with the Harlequin Kyganil. He is referred to as a he in the literature. Nice looking Harlequin. We will go through some size comparisons obviously with other Harlequin models, but Harlequins, I really like what Games Workshop do with Harlequin bases, to have these kind of rhombuses or have him leaping or whatever. I mean, this guy looks like he's just walked out of the webway, or I don't know, something. It looks really, really cool. It's got this duelist swords or blades, very Eldari-esque. Very Eldari-esque. Goes together relatively well. Frail Stern is a little bit trickier to put together, but yeah, you shouldn't really have any problems with either of these two. There are a few mould lines on the legs and on the swords, but nothing too taxing. If we just have a little zoom into some of the other details there, you've got the Harlequin's kiss, which he's not utilising at the moment, but there you go. And then let's have a look at Ephrael Stern. Are we all Sisters of Battled out yet? No, I'm not. I mean, this is a really interesting looking Sisters of Battle model. People either love it or they hate it. I'm in the former. I think it's just fantastic that we've got a sister who's a psyker, and the sword is worth the entry price alone. It's a lovely looking sword with a little skull on the end. The base is a bit to be desired. I like the animation of it, like all the bricks sort of flaying about. She's probably firing off a psychic power there. Her hair's upwards, the cloak is upwards, everything else is upwards, even like the little icons and things like that. The grenades are a little bit tilted upwards. I think that's one of the first models we've seen where you know, things that are attached to them are also in motion. You've got a purity seals moving up. I think Sanguinius has a couple of those that are being affected by the force, by the gravity, by the wind of the motion, really. I've got a little bolt pistol there, and yeah, I mean, you know, maybe you could modify the power plant to be a Seraphim, and then she could be a Seraphim Superior. That's possible, I guess. You know, maybe we just modified that, because it is just this bit is separate, you see, so you could chop off the, you know, the back of the jump pack and put that on there. It wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility to turn her into a superior. And if I had another one, yeah, I'd attempt to do that. Anyway, face is quite interesting looking. They've actually painted her eyes like bluish white, like she is firing off a psychic power, so guess that's what she's doing. But yeah, not really many issues here, just a bit trickier to put together than Kyganil. Okay, so here I've got a couple of size comparisons. I wanted to just show you her size compared to one of the Gemini Superior. She is kind of taller. She's got on the same size base, but she, you know, her pose is taller than one of these Gemini Superiors, which is fine. But she's kind of got the same proportions, very similar proportions there. So I hope that helps. Comparing her to Amalia Novena, which has just got the most amount of detail of any plastic miniature I've ever seen. Yeah, she's typical Sisters of Battle size, but she doesn't have as much detail as Novena. But yeah, hopefully those size comparisons helped. She is Sisters of Battle size, but that's where she kind of weighs up against the sister. She's going to stand out a fair bit with the rest of them. And then a little size comparison with a Harlequin. This is a Solitaire. Solitaire's on a tiny 25mm base. For some reason, I think that's just because it came on that. But the Solitaire is, I'd say Kyganil is a little bit taller, but the poses are, yeah, they're a bit hard to compare. I mean, Kyganil is almost as tall as the Solitaire, and he's just stood upright, whereas the Solitaire is leaping off this this piece of scenery. But definitely, you know, fits with the aesthetics of other Harlequins and will work if you're going to add some Harlequins to your force, or Kyganil to your force. Let's do some size comparisons with models that you may well be more familiar with. So Space Marines, we've got Primaris on the right, we've got Slime Marbo in the middle, and then a Legacy Space Marine on the left. Kyganil is taller than a normal Space Marine. Yeah, pretty tall there by a fair bit, but then again he is on that scenic base. Compared to Slime Marbo, there's just no competition. He's a lot taller and slender. And then compared to a Primaris, they are similar height. I'd say he is taller than the Primaris with that extra scenic base thing going on. And then compared to a Frail's just taller than all of the standard sort of troops. So like I say, she will stand out amongst your normal infantry. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for Ephrael Stern and Kyganil. Like I said at the start, you'll find the data sheet in the box set with them, or alternatively you can also find their data sheet and extra page of lore in the Psychic Awakening Book 9 Pariah. They come as one, so there's what, one HQ choice, one unit for the pair of them. They are a power points cost of a 6 and a points cost of 115 for both of them. Not each, but both of them. So it's quite a good little deal you're getting. Now, their stat line. So for Ephrael Stern, so I'll start on the left, movement of 7 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 and a save of 3+. Kyganil is a little bit faster, you'd expect that. He is a Harlequin. Movement of 8 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 and a save of 6+. However, he does have a better save, we'll come to that in a moment. The unit contains 1 Ephrael Stern and 1 Kyganil. Ephrael Stern is equipped with Bolt Pistol, Sanctity, Frag Grenades, Crack Grenades. Kyganil is equipped with Harlequin's Kiss, the Outcast Blades, Plasma Grenades. You can only include one of this unit in your army. So, let's start off with Ephrael Stern. Bolt Pistol works as usual, but then she's also got a power sword called Sanctity. It's a melee weapon, strength +1, so that's strength 5, AP -3 and a damage of 2. That's quite decent, especially when she's got a strength of 5 with the AP -3 and a damage of 2. Grenades work as usual. So let's talk about Kyganil. Now Kyganil has the Harlequin's Kiss, which is a melee weapon, which is a strength +1, so that would be strength 4, AP -1 and a damage of D3. That's alright, but then he's also got the Outcast Blades. Strength of the user, which is 3, unfortunately, AP -1, damage of 1, but you make 2 hit rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1. So you pretty much got 8 hit rolls there. With a weapon skill of 2+, you're going to be hitting a lot of them. He's just weak. Weak strength and not the best AP or damage. However, he also has plasma grenades. Now, these are normal range of grenades, so 6 inches. Grenade D6, so that works as usual. Strength 4, AP -1, and a damage of 1. So they are worse than your normal crack grenades, but better than your normal frag grenades. So they are an upgrade to those frag grenades. Now, abilities. There's abilities for both of them together, then there's separate abilities for Frail and separate abilities for Kyganil. So first of all, let's talk about the abilities that encompasses both of them. First one is called Cast Together by Fate. During deployment, both models in this unit must be set up at the same time. They do not need to be set up in unit coherency. From that point onwards, each model is treated as a separate unit. You've heard of that kind of ability before, it's quite straightforward. Unexpected allies. This unit can be included in any Imperium detachment without taking up a slot. As long as every unit in your army, with the exception of those that are unaligned, has the Imperium keyword and does not have the Fallen keyword. This unit does not prevent other units from your army from benefiting from detachment abilities, e.g. chapter tactics, canticles on the Messiah, and does not prevent units from gaining abilities that require every model in your army to have that ability. Example, combat doctrines. In a match play game, these models are ignored for the purposes of the Battle Brothers rule, although all units from your army must still have the Imperium faction keyword. So that's great. They're unexpected allies. As long as it's Imperium, not unaligned or fallen, then you can just take them and they don't take up a slot. Fantastic. Wanderers. Neither Ephrael nor Kyganil can be your warlord. In addition, during deployment, you can set up these models in the webway instead of setting them up on the battlefield. If you do, at the end of your movement phases, you can set up these models anywhere on the battlefield within 3 inches of each other and more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. It's quite straightforward. Now, single abilities. Now, character-specific abilities. You've got 2 for Stern and 2 for Kyganil. Now, Frail Stern, she has Daemonifuge. She actually has an ability with the same name as the novel. At the start of your shooting phase, roll 2d6, adding 2 to the result if there are any Chaos units within 18 inches of a Frail Stern. On a 5+, the nearest enemy unit that is within 18 inches of and visible to a Frail Stern suffers D3 mortal wounds. If the result is 9 or more, that unit instead suffers D6 mortal wounds. That's amazing. So she is a must if your sister's army, if your Imperium army is going against Chaos. You've got an effective range there, 25 inches, although you have to roll a 5+ of that unit getting either D3 mortal wounds or D6. Divine Protection. This model has a 4+ invulnerable save. In addition, when resolving an attack against this model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So that's nice. So 3+ normal, 4+ invulnerable, and you've got to remove 1 from the hit roll. Now, abilities for Kyganil. Knight of Shadows. This model has a 4+ invulnerable save, so we can get rid of that 6+ straight away. In addition, this model can fight first in the fight phase, even if it did not make a charge move that turn. If your opponent has units that did make a charge move that turn, or that have a similar ability, then alternate choosing units to fight with, starting with the player whose turn it's taking place. Brilliant. And then the other ability is Mysterious Saviour. Whilst this model is within 3 inches of a friendly Frail Stern model, roll 1d6 each time that model would lose a wound. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. It's just gone somewhere. It's just gone. So she's got a 5+ feel no pain because Kyganil is within 3 inches of her. Keywords, Imperium, and then for Frail Stern, it's Adeptus Sororitas, character, infantry, Frail Stern, and Kyganil, it's Eldari, character, infantry, and Kyganil. So that's brilliant. These 2 models, a great little unit, good against Chaos. They've got a decent number of wounds. Kyganil is a bit squishy, but they've got a decent number of wounds. Kyganil is a bit squishy, but they have got a decent number of wounds and a decent number of attacks, especially Kyganil has, and Sanctity is a nice strength 5 power sword. They've got decent rules. I don't think they're overpowered. You have to invest 115 points into both of them, and they can't act as your warlord anyway, so you can't just have them with your, you know, troops or whatever. I think it's really great that Games Workshop have made it so accessible to use them in any Imperium army and not have them affect anything. That's great. And at the end of the day, they're also lovely looking models, which if you've got the graphic novel, I'm sure you'll appreciate them in model form. But what do you guys think of the model specifically? Please do put it in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.